I just started it.
So now I need to say everything over again.
All right, I'll do the Cliff Notes version to save you some mental stress. What MK wanted to tell you was, yes, we will have things more organized. We both had a lot of stuff happening this year. I actually lost my regular job, and now I'm working a different job, which is all fine because everything's like good now. But yeah, like switching from day.
But the schedule is widely different.
Yes, waking up at 4. I used to go to bed at 4 in the morning. I'm now waking up at 4 in the morning to wake up and go to work at 5 a.m. So that was the first part. Then we talked about how you have given me homework to make sure to watch 2 movies so we can get our 2 bonus movie episodes out here soon. And
yes, as an apology to our first paid Patreon subscriber, so shout out to Anderson Gaze. You will receive an apology in the form of either a double length bonus episode or 2 in a row, depending on how much content I can get out of the second movie, because it's a sequel to the first one. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the same amount of content out of it, so we'll see.
Yeah, I would say there are definitely levels to sequels when it comes to things like that, where it's like, oh, we really did just rehash everything.
Yeah. So I was saying that, so he's going to watch those. During the off season, we are going to attempt to bank several bonus episodes, and we have several, like, evergreen how football works / history of the league / mascot deep dives, whatever kind of episodes planned for the off season. And then when the next season starts, we will be much better about being like regular.
Yes.
And recording at least once a week.
Well, hopefully one of us or both of us will not have to deal with a negative life change in the middle of something. Like, I'm good work-wise and everything now, but, like, yeah, getting laid off is kind of a big deal.
Yeah, and then you have my, like, magical, Mary's magical mystery disease that I've been dealing with. The migraine front is improving a bit because I'm on a new medicine that, like, it hasn't eliminated them, but it has definitely, like, reduced the frequency and intensity of the worst ones.
An improvement in that regard sounds great.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the plans. So let's get to talking about the game.
What game?
And by that I mean
I'm speaking of. What game could you possibly have been made reference to?
So we're gonna be talking about the Super Bowl, and I already told Ben that, like, I am gonna have much more to say about the commercials and the halftime show, because the game itself was not all that interesting. It was kind of a shutout for, like, the first half.
Yeah.
And then the second half, like, the Patriots were kind of trying to come back, but it was either too late or they weren't trying hard enough or whatever. Like, there were plenty of spots where it was like, I mean, I've seen people make a bigger comeback in less time, but a lot would have to go right, and it was not going right.
Well, I would say, I think the thing was, Seattle clearly had the best defense in the league, and it showed up in the Super Bowl, and I know New England scored twice, and yes, they are good, but a lot of that felt like garbage time, or just Seattle playing a little bit of prevent, just trying to get the clock to wind down. Like, yeah, I'm about to say, like, I never really bet, but I put 2 bets on the Super Bowl that the Seahawks would win by 10 points and 20 points, and I felt really good that I was going to win both, but I only won one of them. But we were about one Kenneth Walker run away from the Patriots losing by 20 plus points. But I think that was the thing, was I know all year I harped on points differential. And lo and behold, you will be surprised to learn that Seattle led the league in points differential, which, just as a reminder, is the difference between your points scored and points against. And New England was not right behind them, but third in the league. But I think the big difference of the two teams coming to the Super Bowl was Seattle had an average strength of schedule. They played some good teams, they played the bad teams, and kind of ended up in the middle of the league as far as that goes. New England had a shockingly bad schedule this year, or easy schedule, like good for them, but I think that was the thing was these teams seemed mismatched going in, but on top of that, New England just never seemed to show at any point during the playoffs dominance. I'd have to go back and look up the scores, but basically they barely outscored the Chargers. They did score well in the turnover fest with the Houston Texans, but then they didn't look that great against the Broncos. So that was kind of the thing going into the Super Bowl was we see one team has done nothing to be impressive, and then the Seahawks have looked impressive the entire playoffs. And on top of that, I think what was interesting to me, the only thing interesting about the Super Bowl, I think, really outside of the defensive aspect was just simply Sam Darnold. I still don't think is a great quarterback, but he won a Super Bowl, and that's all that really matters. Do you think he cares right now? No, he doesn't. But I mean, the Seattle defense just dominates. Some of the stats were just 3 turnovers, 6 sacks taken. I think Drake May was like 6 of 11 in the first half. It's just Seattle had their way. They could have been up 28 points, but they settled for a bunch of field goals, and this game could have been even worse as far as getting out of hand. And credit to New England. Drake May got a shot in his shoulder that was injured before the Super Bowl. He made no excuses in the post-game press conference and all that, but he clearly was not playing fully healthy. I mean, I think that's fair to say on top of just a defense that was going to – Seattle was going to win that game. The only thing that really was going to generally be different was New England probably wasn't a team that's normally that was going to lose by 20 points. But by the time they got to the Super Bowl, it seemed pretty apparent that between whatever's going on with Drake May and just – not everything quite clicking for them, that this was Seattle's Super Bowl to lose. And I think as we saw, there, other than settling for field goals and kind of leaving it close in the first half, there really wasn't any real sense of drama because I can't remember when it was in the game that I think it was the third quarter that and maybe it was late second that New England got its first third down conversion. So I mean, just simply that, like, one team's offense couldn't do anything, and the other one's was fine. The running game kept things honest. But I think that was the thing that, I guess it's the thing too. One of the differences was for me, Jackson Smith-Jigba forced the Patriots to always kind of keeps their defense backed up a little bit because he's going to rip the top off defenses generally from time to time. I actually think that despite Kenneth Walker having a good game and winning the MVP, I still don't think that down to down Seattle has a great running game. Like, it's just there's too much variance in it, and Walker can't pass block. He can't block. I mean, like, he's just not a good blocking running back at all. Like, just look at him in the Super Bowl. He's a good running back, but in a different game, the rushing game of Seattle, I don't think is going to be able to keep New England honest. I think it just helped that New England, that they were able to push things, but New England never really was able to fully hem in Seattle's offense, despite that they don't have a great quarterback and that I think their running game's a little too hit or miss for me to really trust. Fantasy football isn't everything, but I mean, I feel like despite his overall stats, I felt like a lot of people didn't have a lot of week-to-week faith in, Kenneth Walker and all that. And but I guess that's the thing too. He showed you in the Super Bowl. give him a little bit of room and give him enough time, and yeah, he's going to just start, breaking off these 20, 30-yard runs somewhat regularly. I mean, I don't want to insult him too much. It's just like this Super Bowl was kind of a weird one on top of just the way it played out. I just think that of a different team against Seattle might have actually it wouldn't have felt like such. I think they could have beat Seattle, much less talking about this dominant Seattle team that has a quarterback still no one trusts, like in the big moments.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that was the problem. That was the game, was lots of manhandling of the New England line and Drake May, and just enough offense, and then they kind of poured it on a little bit in the second half, and then we got a pick six by the defense there. So, yeah, I mean, the game played out about how I expected. Not that, I'm going to pretend like I'm a genius of some sort or even know what I'm talking about, really. But it seemed like one of those games that you knew one team was really going to win unless the other team it was their day. I mean, that's the whole thing with, I think New England had a very easy pass to the Super Bowl. A lot of stuff broke their way. But all they had to do was put together one game, and, we could be having a very different conversation today. But injuries and everything else, this was going to be Seattle's game.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't have any, informed prediction. I was just saying that, I want the Seahawks to win, so that means the Patriots are going to win because God hates me. But it didn't work out that way this time.
Well, I will say I was listening to Bomani Jones's podcast, and he had a guy on there, and if I remember correctly, he essentially said that the rumors he was hearing around Seattle's side was they were all but saying they were going to win by, we're going to win by 2 touchdowns. And he was like, guys are not programmed to ever say that because you're supposed to be humble and you don't want to give the other side anything. But he just said, that was the vibe, whether he was getting that or just was flat out being said. And so that was kind of my feeling too, was this is going to be a 10, 15 point game, if not bigger than that. And, you weren't disappointed as a fan, and we don't have to hear something about another New England dynasty, at least until next year.
All right, so let's talk about the stuff that surrounds the game. So we had this year's Hall of Famers class come out while Green Day played Good Riddance, which the graduationification of Good Riddance perplexes me. And I don't think it will ever not perplex me. But anyway, and then we go into Green Day's set of, I think they played 3 songs. I know they played American Idiot, Holiday.
Yeah. Wait, as a quick aside, why are you surprised in the graduationification? Which I'm surprised I could get through that word.
It's called Good Riddance. It's not a happy song. It's not.
We're a country that plays "Born in the USA" at patriotic events.
Yeah, well, okay.
The
average American.
Most of us did not realize "Hey Ya" was a breakup song until someone told us to pay attention to the lyrics.
Okay, we can put a pin in this lyrics conversation for when we get to the halftime show.
See.
But yeah, okay, so Green Day played their set, and a lot of people on the internet were mad that they weren't on their worst behavior, and I'm I mean, what did you want them to do?
I guess, I didn't actually get to catch that performance. Did they say did they make any political references or anything?
Well, they played American Idiot, which is absolutely not a subtle song, and it was censored, but I have heard that in the part of the song where he's speaking through a megaphone, it says the representative from California has the floor. Supposedly he said the representative from Epstein's Island has the floor.
I'd say
but I didn't hear that. And then there was another part where he shouted something that I could not figure out. And they also played Holiday, which is a pretty political song. And what was the other song?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the thing. Like, you don't. I think that's there would be a value or a point to beat on your worst behavior there, like
Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
But I also think it's like at their age, it would also just come off almost like I at this age, it's also a lot more like, what do they have to lose? Like, I mean, like they've made enough money. Like this, like what fans are they losing? Like
right, like yeah, they wouldn't have like ruined their lives had they done something a bit more in your face.
Yeah, I mean, like
But also, like, it's the Super Bowl. Like, I don't know if that's...
I feel like to a certain extent, just on... I think it's also... I think we forget sometimes, especially when a band gets as big as Green Day, is there's a lot of people under them that are supported by the Green Day industrial complex. Let's just call it that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's a lot of people under them that are supported by them being successful and continuing to get gigs.
Mm-hmm.
It would be cool if they did something more political in some way, but at the same time, like, a lot of people actually are expecting paychecks regularly for the foreseeable future from working for them. It's just plus, I mean, I just think it's as simple as, yes, you make an agreement, like, it's okay. Like, yeah, it would have been great if they did something cool or whatever, but I mean, like, you agree to play, the pregame, like, who's the jokes, and plus with the delays and everything, we wouldn't have seen it or heard it anyway, so what would be the value?
Yeah, unless it was something like super huge, Yeah. But like, they played 3 pretty political songs. People who already know Green Day know what Green Day's about. Yeah. People who care to find out what Green Day is about are gonna find out, and people who don't care aren't. Yeah. Like mentioning Born in the USA. Like, if you don't know what American Idiot is about by now,
yeah,
like,
especially if you really consider yourself
and I don't mean that like if you've never heard it before, but like if you know the song and don't already understand it, you're never going to. If you'd never heard it before and you care enough to find out, you will.
Let's say to me, it's always like if you say you're a fan and you're then later surprised that Rage Against the Machine was in fact Raging Against the Machine. Like, I'll get I did not catch every bit of subtlety or reference when I was in high school, but like, I definitely did not think they were, neoconservatives or anything like that, or even like Democrats, really. Like, it's more to me like when you say you're a fan, because like, if I'm just hearing Fortunate Son occasionally, I'm probably not gonna. I mean, you should probably catch the lyrics about I'm no senator's son and all that, but like, I can get, like, if you basically only hear this at a cookout, you have probably not, put too much thought into these, throwing this on your 4th of July playlist and not understanding the irony or appreciating it for what it is or whatever. So.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, maybe I would have liked to have heard Billy Joe directly say fuck ICE or something, but, like, I also think, to some degree, them simply being there is a statement in itself. And then, like, them being who they are and being about what they're about.
And I mean, and again, with the delays and everything, like, it wouldn't have been played live, and you would have seen a video later, but, I mean, who does that serve? It's one of those things, like, I couldn't imagine any person who just wasn't, except for the uninformed, to, like, have a different opinion of Green Day before or after, even if they did such a thing.
Yeah. So anyway, I enjoyed the set. Like, it was very short. Like, the pre-game part is never very long. It wasn't even the 3 full songs. It was like kind of a medley of the 3 of them. Like, one went right into the other. So like Green Day's short appearance, I enjoyed. And then we go into some commercials. Fuck AI, but the Claude Cougar ad was kind of funny.
I will. Yeah, that.
I'm looking through our chat because look behind the curtain. I was just like live tweeting in our chat to Ben the whole time.
I will say, like,
so his phone was blowing
all
up.
the AI and tech commercials were definitely like a bit overwhelming, and like
I was overwhelmed by how many there were,
and how many just weren't great commercials, like.
Okay, overall thesis, most of the commercials sucked. And, like, not even in, like, a funny, bad commercial kind of way, because we've had some of those before, but, like... And, like, okay, so to gauge what I mean by, like, good and bad commercials, I think Puppy Monkey Baby was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. And, like... I like the Budweiser Clydesdale commercials almost every year. So, like, it doesn't have to be super funny for me to think it's a good commercial. I just think it needs to be, like, competent.
Yeah, or it essentially either needs to be...
or extremely stupid.
It needs to be funny or stupid or...
And I need to know what you're advertising.
Or kind of sweet, like the Freebird Budweiser commercial.
Yes. Like, we'll talk about that one.
But yeah,
so yeah,
if I just come away being like, okay, like, there's kind of a saying in wrestling: if you're being booed, that's good. If you're being cheered, that's good. The worst thing that can happen to you is no reaction. And I felt like that was so many of the commercials was they were bad because I had no reaction, and that's it.
A lot of them I had no reaction. Like NBC's self-celebration ad where they're just kind of like advertising themselves. There was a trailer for Hoppers. There was a Sprint ad with the one guy from The Office that was like, wasn't the worst commercial. The Manscaped musical one kind of made me giggle.
That's something that counts. Like, I don't expect every commercial to be a banger. I just expect that you spent this much money. Did you at least like?
I don't want to be mad that I wasted 30 seconds of my life.
Like, and plus it's just like, I don't get how you spend $8 million and don't have a competent plan in place.
And then there was this FanDuel one with Joe Montana and Gronk. That was kind of funny. I like Gronk a lot. Like, I'd like to see him in movies.
Yeah,
I think he's really funny.
Well, let's say, like, for all the meathead to him and all that, like, he, you know, he's got a voice, he's got an opinion, but like he doesn't try to. I feel like he doesn't make the flaw of I'm just gonna have opinions to have opinions. Like, he's good about just, I think in a good way, just, you know, staying in his lane in the sense of I'm not trying to be a hot take artist. I'm just going to be entertaining and, you know, funny, and I know a few things about football too.
I think Gronk could kind of have a similar arc as, like, John Cena. Like, start off by playing, like, stereotypical meatheads, and then, like, if you prove you can do well, like, get more juicy stuff. I don't know. I think there's something there. Then there was a commercial for The Voice that was vaguely amusing. And then we go back to the stadium for Brandi Carlile, whom I adore.
Oh, and you mentioned Cena. You do know that Gronk has been in a WWE ring before.
No, but that's the second time you've surprised me with this exact same kind of information.
We'll get.
You'll tell me about the second one in a little bit, or we'll tell the audience about the second one in a little bit. Brandi Carlile did amazing, and then we go to Charlie Puth, who also did amazing, And like Charlie Puth is like one of my like hipster cred people that I like am really proud of. Cause like I was a fan of that guy when he had to make a new YouTube channel every other week because he kept getting copyright strikes for all of his covers. I think he was like 15 at the time. And then there was an ad for Scream 7. I am several Scream movies behind at this point. I really need to catch up on those.
I will say, like, when you get to this point in a series, it's like, I know for the fans, like, it means something, but I'm just like, it feels like, you know, whenever shows or something made fun of sequels, and, you know, it'd be like, you know, Scream 7, you know, whatever, and it's just like, oh, we're still doing it. It could end up being great, but I'm also like, yeah, we're at that phase where I'm like, am I supposed to, like, take this seriously? We're on number 7.
I was really skeptical of the latter Halloween movies, like with old lady Jamie Lee Curtis, but those were all like really good. Turns out old woman with gun is just like a trope I love a lot. Like old woman fucking some people up. And then there was the first of like a series of Intuit ads featuring Adrian Brody that I thought were actually kind of funny and clever. Like they weren't like laugh out loud uproarious or anything, but they were amusing. I wasn't mad that they wasted my time. Then there was a DraftKings one. I didn't write anything about that. Then there was a teaser about flag football coming to the Summer Olympics, which we're definitely going to cover that, assuming this podcast is still going 2 years from now.
Hopefully so.
We are definitely going to talk about flag football in the Olympics. I kind of wanted us to talk about this Winter Olympics. We just, like, as soon as I was ready to start planning about it, then it happened, and then now it's almost over.
Yeah.
Side note, one of the commentators was Chris Collinsworth, and I don't quite understand why, but my mom hates this man so much, and it is so entertaining to me.
I will say, is your mom on the internet?
No.
Okay, then maybe I'll give her credit if it came naturally, but I also feel like there's a thing where people get mad where, like, he will, you know, mention Patrick Mahomes or something, and I don't know, like, I don't think that feels that, you know, considering for some of us believe, you know, Mahomes is already the greatest quarterback we've ever seen. Like,
yeah.
But at the same time, too, like, your mom just, her hate for him comes naturally. I just feel like sometimes with the internet, there's like a pile on, or if you see it highlighted, you know, every time, it seems more ridiculous. Whereas when I'm watching a game and Collinsworth, you know, does anything, doesn't even register. Like, I'm like, yeah, Collinsworth, I like Collinsworth, but apparently me and your mother are not in the same boat.
I don't really have an opinion, you know? Like,
well, let's say that's the thing. Half the time is like, I know this guy may even be good at his job, but like, I'm probably not going to think that much about it during the actual game.
There are two things she pointed out that like do kind of annoy me, but I don't think he's the only one who does it, so it hasn't bothered me that much. One is she feels that you can always tell which team he is more in favor of. And I don't really like that, but I get it. Personally, if I were the dictator of football, instead of commentators being tied to networks, they would be tied to teams. And like each team had their own commentator, and that way like your bias is on display, you know?
I will say, as an NBA fan...
And then maybe you have, like, a third one that's from the network.
I will say, as an NBA fan, you have that in the sense of, like, the regional broadcast is tends to be very team-centric because you're watching, like, the Indiana... whatever, you know, FanDuel or network or whatever. And so, like, I know, like, for the Pacers, Denari and... Buckner are going to be pro Pacers, but I also feel like as long as announcers are fair. Like that's the thing is like I check out on announcers when I do feel like they're just ridiculously homers in the sense of like can't admit any wrong or a foul. Like um that would be the only bad thing is like I don't know if we have enough announcers to do that that I would actually trust to call games. I'm waiting for you to get to one
okay.
commercial, and I will may have some feelings and thoughts.
Okay, but real quick, the second thing is that like there was one moment she pointed out that like he asked a question and then immediately answered it himself, and I'm like, but they all do that because they're just trying to fill time. It is annoying, but literally everyone does it.
I feel like in announcing the rhetorical question, answering your own question. I mean, if it's maybe there's a better way to lead into a point, but also it's just a good way to get to your point without or to introduce why you maybe should actually care about that point.
Yeah, and like if I had been planning better, I would have written down the specific question that she was talking about. But anyway, I do have an actual question. Yes. So we get to the coin toss, and the captains come out for the coin toss. Why were there so many captains?
Probably just because it's the Super Bowl and.
Because there was like 4 for each team.
Okay, I think there's actually 4 in every game, just because generally you might have your offensive captain, your defense, your special teams. I'd have to double check. Like I think there actually is 4 captains every game, but you know most games it's just not important enough to march everybody out there or whatever.
Okay, that makes sense. Like if it's you know if there's an offense, a defensive, a special team, and then maybe like one captain to rule them all or whatever. Like that makes sense. It just seemed like, in my experience, there is one captain.
I will say when next time you're watching an NFL game, I think they still do the captain's patches on the jersey. Is one of those things that I don't always. I like. It's probably still there. It doesn't fully register to me at this point because like I'm just used to seeing it. But like you'll see a C and like it's like a C with some stars under it. But yeah, like generally, yeah, that's the idea. Is just that you are gonna have a couple captains, and if it's a Super Bowl, it's like, oh yeah, I'm going out there, you know. Where when it's week 12, it's just like, yeah, somebody go out there and let's get this over with.
Okay, so after the coin toss, there's a Disclosure Day trailer, which, like, I hadn't heard of this movie, and then suddenly I'm seeing trailers for it everywhere. And then there was that YouTube TV ad, where, like, aren't you glad it's not just meh, or whatever? When, like, my problem with that is, like, I had seen that commercial, like, 6 times before the game. Like, what is the point in making a special Super Bowl trailer or a special Super Bowl commercial if you're going to show it before the game? That, like, I feel like you shouldn't be allowed to do that.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's somebody in marketing just wants to get it out there and get their money's worth.
And, like, get their money's worth or whatever, yeah.
But, yeah, the same...
Like, I'm fine with you showing it all over the place after the game, but, like...
Yeah, but I do think that actually, yeah, kind of has made us check out a little bit more in commercials, whereas, like, you used to be a little bit more locked in, whereas... Yeah, like doing, and I kind of hate it, but I get doing a trailer for your commercial. Like if you want to tease that, you know, you got Montana, you know, in your commercial or whatever, that's fine. But like I don't, yeah, what's the point of when it gets to Super Bowl that I'm going to mentally like people actually watch the commercials during the Super Bowl, like. Why would you want to have me mentally checking out when I see your logo come up? Because like, oh yeah, I saw this Tuesday. That's what I don't get about it. Like, you have people actually focused on you until you do that, and then it's just like, yeah, we've already seen this. It's not novel. It's not new. I don't get to learn anything. And I feel like it's one of those trends that somebody started doing it, so then everybody decided that they needed to start putting out the commercial early. But yeah, I just feel like, why am I going to pay attention during the game now? Like, to your commercial.
Yeah, like, there was the State Farm commercial, with Bon Jovi, which was another one that I had I think I had seen that one before too. Or like they had teased it or something. The idea of a teaser for a commercial is so dumb.
Yeah.
Then there was a Toyota commercial with like athletes' younger selves, which was like fine, whatever. There was a Mando Grogu, like Mandalorian and Grogu commercial or trailer. The Instacart Disco one was kind of entertaining. The Michelob one with Kurt Russell, fine. There was a bunch of Olympics ones. Because it's on NBC, so like it's really easy for them to like put their own marketing on their own.
Yeah, let's say
the apartments.com/homes.com one was fine. The Serena Williams Row commercial, like fine, whatever, but like it was just a variation of ones with her that I'd already seen. Then there was a Wix one and an OpenAI one.
Boo.
And then some movie with Brad Pitt that I did not catch the title of.
I don't think they actually showed... I don't remember them showing the title. I think that may have been the point to get you to, like, investigate.
Maybe. The Liquid Death Exploding Heads one was vaguely entertaining. Then there was another Claude one, and it wasn't funny.
I will say at least there
was the Lay's Potato Farm one that was like sappy and like heartwarming or whatever.
I'll say the exploding head one, at least that caught my attention, like it was kind of funny.
Right.
Like, I'm like kind of whatever about it, but at the same time it's like it I was like, this is not a pharmacy commercial.
The Emma Stone Squarespace one made me laugh because it was like so over dramatic, and she's like throwing laptops against the wall. It was short and it was entertaining. I really hated a mortgage company using "Won't You Be My Neighbor." That feels like
Blasphemy.
Insulting.
Heresy.
It feels like insulting to the spirit of that song. Then there was like a girls' sports Dove commercial. Then there was like a Levi's commercial that just like featured a lot of butts. And like, it wasn't special or anything, but it's like, at least this is clearly about the product that it is advertising.
Butts.
I like the Matthew McConaughey, Bradley Cooper, Uber Eats series of commercials. I think they're dumb and they make me giggle.
Well, let's say the Hall of Fame looks like a juicer. It's dumb, but like, yeah, now it's stuck in my head.
It's a juicer, Bradley!
Yeah, like, it's dumb and like, I never want to give them too much credit, but it's like, I'm definitely going to have that thought going forward, so it worked on some level. Like, so...
It's a juicer!
I mean, I'm mostly against Uber and things like that, or Uber Eats and things of that nature. But yeah, like, it works as a commercial. I have been inside of that juicer.
Then there was the Guy Fieri Bosch commercial, which was kind of interesting. I kind of liked seeing, like, Bizarro World Guy Fieri. Liquid IV, take a look at me now. Then there was an NBA song that I said was going to be stuck in my head, and it was for a while, but then I forgot about it. What was the song that they
Round
used?
Ball Rock?
No.
Wait.
The NBA Super Bowl commercial.
What was it? Was John Tesh?
No.
Because yeah, I know. I think my brain's.
It was like a parody of like an existing song.
Shoot. Crap. Because I missed that because I think I had to get down one of the kids during the Super Bowl.
Um, then there was part 2 of the Adrian Brody one. And then Goodwill Duncan was so stupid that it made me laugh.
See, I legitimately just hated it because, like, it's one
okay.
of the
I found the NBA commercial. I'm gonna leave it in the show notes. It was everybody wants to rule the world.
Anyway,
keep going.
The Duncan one made me angry because, like, I feel like, saying something was like a fever dream is always kind of overdone, but, like, it definitely reminded me of my weird dreams where nothing quite makes sense, but it keeps going. Like, it felt like someone pitched it as Too Many Cooks, but a Dunkin' Donuts commercial. Like,
I mean, kind of.
I mean, because, like, like, I get, like, all the sitcom actors and all that, and must have paid good money to get him back in his Urkel gear and all that.
Yeah, and it was just one of those ones that, like, it's funny because how dumb it is.
I guess it ended up for me in the uncanny valley of dumbness, where, like, it never quite landed, like, as far, like, it was for me, it was bad dumb. Let's just say that. It was the negative sort of dumb for me.
But then that one was followed immediately by one that just made me absolutely fucking furious. And apparently most of the internet felt the same way, because they you see this, like, old school karaoke type screen, and it's Backstreet's Back, everybody's having a good time, and then it turns out to be a commercial for fucking Coinbase.
Well, but
what the fuck?
Plus, I just didn't like it as a commercial because, like, one, I'm already, like, because I feel like the collective internet to a certain extent with it was like, everybody, AI.
Yeah, no. Well, Coinbase is crypto.
Yeah, or whichever. They're both both terrible and evil, and probably money laundering schemes.
True.
But like, I didn't like it again. Like, it just felt under the, like, the only reason I think I remember who it was because I hated it. Like, if it wasn't the disappointment of crypto at the end, I don't think I would remember anything about that ad than, somebody paid for the Backstreet Boys.
Right. Okay. So, like, going back to what you were saying, like, it's like the boos are good, because, like, I'm gonna not forget this commercial for a while.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, I guess
I'm never gonna use Coinbase because crypto is evil and a scam.
Yeah, I guess it's the thing.
But, like, it was effective.
Yeah, I guess it was the thing was it worked in that sense, but, like, for someone who has no desire for it, it's like, it's not even, like, begrudging. It's just like,
It was just like, I was happy. Oh, fuck you.
Yeah, basically.
The Bud Light rolling down the hill one was, like, vaguely funny and is, like, connected to another commercial.
Do we have the Bud,
like, taking place at a wedding?
Do we have, like, the Bud Light expanded cinematic universe now?
That seems to be, like, a common thing with commercials lately, is, like, they'll film, like, several commercials that are, like, related to each other. Because, like, there's one Bud Light one where it's like, I'm here to get a Bud Light for the bride, and then, like, you hear other groomsmen off in the distance saying, like, the bride wants pretzels too, or whatever. And then the rolling down the hill thing, like, there's a bride and the groom, so, and, like, some of the same people, so, like, you can tell that they're connected to each other. And Post Malone was in it, and he's, like, a very famous, like, fan of Bud Light, so, like, I don't know, it was entertaining, like, whatever. Do you not like Posty?
I have my criticisms of him, and I just don't care for him. It's more of he doesn't so much bother me as I have my reasons for not liking him, but, like, I don't hold it against other people. Like, I don't question other people's taste for liking him, but I can tell you why I don't like him.
I want to play Magic with him. Okay, so here we get to the halftime show.
See.
And like my whole take on the halftime show is I don't know a single Bad Bunny song, but I enjoyed it. Like the music is like fun and kind of catchy in the way that music that I don't understand the lyrics to is catchy. And I meant to go look up the lyrics and like kind of learn the songs later, and I just never got around to it. Like, but you know, I do not dislike what I saw. Lady Gaga came out and sang a bit. Love her. Ricky Martin appeared, and that was delightful.
Looking great. Like, I think that was the thing for me. Like, the quick version of both my opinion of it and, you know, somewhat putting my toe in the politics of it is, I, like, my problem was I don't know Spanish. I didn't have a problem that it was in Spanish. Just simply that, like, I got less out.
There was just a barrier to you enjoying it because you didn't understand it.
Yeah, and it's not like when I would listen to, like, there's a couple, like, songs over the years that, like, if it was Shakira, like, I know the English version, so if I put on the Spanish version, I know the vibe at least.
Right.
Or ironically, I know Chambea from Bad Bunny now because it was his entrance music when he wrestled in Puerto Rico in the WWE.
That was the other pin.
Well, I'm not saying my joke especially when people wanted to get into the politics of it was, yeah, I was really disappointed. I didn't see a single suplex or anything like that because that was really my actual like introduction to Bad Bunny in the sense of I knew he was a musician. I knew like, you know, he was popular, but just more under the, you know, however many years ago, it's like I'm in my mid-30s. I pretty much am set in my music unless something really, you know, catches me or whatever.
I go through phases where like months and months on end, I am not consuming anything new, and then I'll go on like a manic binge of new music.
But yeah, so like I know who he is, and I know a couple of his songs, but like I ironically in some ways know. I know very well he's one of the most popular musicians in the world and why he is. Mm-hmm. But like I kind of just know him more as the wrestler.
Like I don't need to know Spanish to know that he's like a charming, engaging, performer with presence.
I could tell it was a good performance. I think it was good for what they wanted to do. I still like my halftime shows to have more ridiculousness to them. Like Katy Perry riding a silver lion, you know, in the Super Bowl.
So what was the best halftime show in your lifetime?
It's hard to pick best because I enjoyed like the nostalgia of the Dr. Dre one a couple years ago, but at the same time, because there's so many people in it, I felt like it didn't have like it was all cool, but it didn't have the grandeur, and that was kind of my same criticism of this one. I watched the Super Bowl. I forget what Super Bowl it was, but it was when Madonna performed. I watched it with my buddy who was in a metal band. But point being was we both were very impressed with it because it did to me what you're supposed to do with a halftime show: ridiculous, over the top. You know, it's kind of a Broadway musical on steroids. Is all like it's the way I look at like a good Olympic opening ceremony is it's just the ridiculousness of it. So like I think that was the thing is like Bad Bunny's was charming. What I read and learned about it, I think it's awesome that we actually saw a real wedding. Did you hear the backstory to that?
Yeah, it was a real life couple, and they like invited him to their
wedding.
Yeah,
they had some extra invitations, so they sent him to a few businesses hoping for some free swag. And they sent one to Bad Bunny, and you know, one, they didn't expect anything really, and two, they got a call, or they contacted him back, like, let's set up a call. And they're like, maybe we'll get a photo or something. Or no, they just were expecting the photo, but then it was like, we want to do a Zoom meeting with you. They're like, well, that's weird, but sure. And the producers for the show were basically like, Bad Bunny wants to have you guys be married during the show.
What was really cool is like it was in fact like a legit wedding because he served as a witness for their marriage license.
I would say, yeah.
And I think that is the coolest shit.
Yeah, I would say it's like, this was probably for them to be like, haha, bad. Like you send that and you're like, haha, Bad Bunny didn't show up. He should have at least RSVP'd. And then it turns out you're not having the wedding you were planning because you're having your wedding at the Super Bowl.
Right. So my answer to best halftime show that I can remember is the year it was Aerosmith and NSYNC. Because it was like they co-headlined the halftime show. So like we knew going in it was both of them. And I thought that was like a beautiful way to like attract like the olds and the youngs.
The youths.
And then there were even more guests that came out during it. Like I remember Britney Spears was one of them. So I would love to see something big and crazy like that again.
Yeah, and I will say that's the
but last year's with Kendrick was like amazing.
I'll say like that's the elements of what I want to see in a halftime show is I want the production values to be ridiculous, which don't get me wrong, like everything was cool about Bad Bunny's, but like it was kind of low key in comparison. Like,
oh, there is one like technical thing I wanted to point out.
The shrubbery.
So the shrubbery, yeah, the human shrubbery, like that, it made my like inner like theater kid extremely happy to figure out how, or like to learn how they did this. So like because they only have so much time and they can only like they can't damage the field. So like they're limited to the number of carts that they can use. And if they had put all of the shrubs on these carts, they wouldn't have been able to use them for all the other stuff that they needed.
Yeah,
so they figured out let's make people into these plants.
Yeah, that's saying and you.
It's is it sugarcane? Is that what it was?
And I was about to say the other thing was it's important to remember that's a grass field they were playing on, so like you have to be extra careful. Like you probably damaged it even with those carts, but that's why you can't have 60 of them out there.
Yeah. I think it was something like 23 or 25 is like the number of carts they're allowed to use.
But yeah, I would say.
But yeah, so I thought the human set deck was
and
awesome.
The fact that as a viewer at home you did not know that until afterwards, I thought also was like, oh, it worked then. Like I did not realize it was people until. Oh,
I did because I saw their shoes and like saw them dancing and stuff.
Say like.
My question was like, why did they do this?
Oh yeah, well, I would say for me and Amber, my wife, for anybody listening, like that's the thing is just like I don't think she saw the shoes or I saw the shoes, during it. Mm-hmm. Naomi was thought it looked cool, but also was like,
because like, and also during like setup and teardown, you could see them.
Oh yeah, I about to say I didn't. Those clips afterwards was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense, But yeah, I thought it was good. It's just that, like, I'm not going to pretend like it was one of my favorites, but, like, again, like, just more in the I don't know Spanish, it's like I listen to Rammstein, but, like, I also know that I don't get the full, experience, and any of the songs that do catch my ear, I look up the lyrics.
I know just enough German to think I understand that music better than I do.
I wish I could remember who I cannot remember the lead singer's name right now. I'll save it for later because I want to get it right. I'll send you a story from him.
Lead singer of what? Till Lindemann.
Yeah, I'll send you. I'll see if I can find the little story and I'll send it to you later because I'll butcher it.
Okay.
But yeah, like
I was supposed to see them live and then COVID made that not happen. And that would have been my second time seeing them.
Nice. Like, I think
if you can go to a Rammstein song, even if you only know like one Rammstein song, I recommend going to a Rammstein show because it is wild.
I will say, like, every video I've seen, it has that Super Bowl ethos, halftime ethos to it.
Oh my god, a Rammstein Super Bowl halftime show would be the most absurd thing to ever happen, and now I need it in my life.
The only problem with it would be is that they would have to actually set the stadium on fire, because it would be a letdown from all the videos I've seen of their regular shows and the amount of fire that they use. So unless literally the stadium is ablaze, which, again, that's a hazard. We're going to have, get 70,000 people out of there. Like,
Fun fact.
I'd be disappointed.
They all, like, got, like, certifications for pyrotechnics.
Nice.
So that, like, they could be extra safe in their shows, which I think is super cool and responsible of them. I could talk about Rammstein for a while because, so, like, a lot of dude bros of, like, vaguely Nazi leanings in the US like Rammstein, and that tells you that they don't understand anything because Rammstein is, like, pretty far left, actually.
I'd say as I started to get back in them a couple years ago, I made sure to do my research because I was like, not that I inherently, because they were German, thought that, but, like, just knowing some of the people I'd seen that said they were into them, I was just like, let's just find out if something. Oh, good, something has been lost in translation.
And, like, yeah, and, like, there came a point where you could tell that they were getting frustrated with, like, non-German speakers kind of not understanding what they're about, because it wasn't that long. It was a couple years ago. There was a music video, and I forget what the song was. Was it America? Called. No. It's more recent than America.
Okay.
Because there was a song where in the video they have a black woman play kind of the German equivalent to Lady Liberty.
Gotcha.
She's like a personification of the German people or whatever. And they had a black woman play this character, and a lot of people were real upset about it. And the band were basically, fuck you. We do what we want.
I thought it was funny with America just because there's the English lyric, "This is not a love song." Because I just felt like that was just people, because, like,
in case American Idiot was too subtle for you.
Yeah. Well, plus, like, because, like, we'll save more Rammstein talk for later, but, like, I just appreciated that in this German song, it's just, here comes the English of, "This is not a love song." That's my mother tongue. But yeah, Bad Bunny was great, but I prefer more grandeur in my decorations. That's really about it.
Sure. And yeah, so, like, basically my overall opinion was, like, I guess I need to check out this Bad Bunny guy.
Yeah, I'm about to say, like, and I'll continue to send any clips of him wrestling if he does it again.
Okay. Part of me hopes that the person who gets to assign us another sport picks wrestling. So then we have a couple of commercials that, like, not even what I wrote down reminds me of what they were. There was a Svedka commercial, and am I hallucinating, or did Svedka used to have, like, commercials with this robot lady?
Yes, right.
Like, this is not, like, a new thing. This is, like, a throwback marketing idea, or has she always been their thing?
I'm thinking so, because,
I also haven't seen Svedka advertised in a while, so I don't know if they still use the robot lady or if it's, like, bringing her back.
Yeah, but say I don't know the full thing, but, like, I definitely know that.
As long as I'm not as long as I'm not, like, inventing memories here.
I would say I just pulled something up. At least they were using it at least in 2008. So yeah, neither of us have made up false memories of.
Okay, that's cool.
Terrifying AI woman.
Then we have the Mike Tyson Maha ad.
Oh, a quick aside. Not today.
Your side.
Well, one, like, yeah, like, I mean, like, we would have to start our sports or our political ball podcast to really go into it, but I'm mainly amazed that Mike Tyson has been rehabilitated in the public eye, like I think it helps that he showed some contrition for his
Yeah.
crimes. But like I definitely, if you would have told me anytime in the late '90s that he'll be a lovable household, person basically by the time you're 40, I'd be like, not a chance. And uh, but
Right.
I will say compared
And
to
like I don't have any problem with the fact that like like I don't have a problem with people who fuck up rehabilitating their image.
well, especially because
Um
he has shown
but
some contrition for it. Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
my main problem is when people make mistakes and want to skip to the be forgiven part, but without
Yeah.
ever admitting the fault or anything like that. Like, if you can at least do that, I think that allows me, and it's just in a very general sense, even if it's just me and you as a relationship of some sort, like, if people offend other people, bother other people, and one person just admits they're wrong, it's so much easier to just move on as friends as anything because it's just like, oh, you see that what the problem was. Thank you. We will continue.
Yeah. I don't know what any of those mean. Then there was an ice ad that made me nice and angry.
You know what did make me
Uh,
angry? Tight ends.
I I think genuinely that might have been my favorite commercial out
I
of all of them.
I thought it was because one, it actually worked. Like I think it helped that it was for at least for guys. It's like, oh, good, I don't have to, get a finger up there. We can do a blood test first. Like that. That just sounds better. Like, so I think like the actual
And
message.
like back to Gronk being funny.
Yeah. Well, about to say like. I think it was funny. It's a little, I don't know, taboo's not the right word, but obviously normally you don't talk about erectile exam of some sort, and
Right.
but like I think it just hit
It's not a sexy disease to talk about.
yeah, and I just think it worked because I mean you were kind of like, why is this kind of this weird like tight end relaxing, like you were cool with it, like I mean it wasn't bothering me, but then it was just like, where are we going? And then it gets to the butts and
Where
it's just like, oh, that's great news, I'm gonna remember
Yeah,
this.
it was a clever commercial and like added bonus of being like a PSA about an important issue. Like
Yeah.
I think I think it was the best at being what it was supposed to be.
I'm about to say, do you know how many men next time they're at their doctor and be like, so we can just do a little, poke and we're done? You know,
Yeah.
like that's going to get a lot of guys to actually just ask at the next regular doctor's appointment, can we do the little thing that Gronk told me about? you know?
Yeah, yeah, no, and I think that's great because so many guys are nervous about a finger up the butt, like
Yep.
they won't get tested for this like when caught early is a very treatable kind of cancer.
Yeah. And I'll say, I mean, yeah, I think, like, not to get too serious, but it's just like, I think the scary thing is always even doing any test, but much less something that invasive. Like, um,
Oh yeah, no, and like I totally understand. Like I don't exactly enjoy going to the gyno.
yeah,
And like, I just recently had a bunch of medical tests. Like I had to get an MRI to try to figure out like why I have such constant migraines, but the cause of migraines is very very rarely like shown on an MRI, so it was more just kind of like eliminating possibilities. But like I have had a tumor in my past. I was when I was 10 years old, I had a tumor, had it taken out. It was fine. But that's a thing I'm always like a little bit more vigilant about because of my history with it, in the same way that like there's like an incredible history of diabetes coming at me from both sides of my family, so that's a thing I have to be a little bit more vigilant about. And my dad's side is just like riddled with liver issues, so my liver is a thing I have to keep like constant check on. And medical tests are scary because like when I went for that MRI, I was sitting there like I don't know if I'm more nervous about them finding something or nothing.
yeah. Well, let's say, especially, I think for you with trying to figure out the migraines, it's like nothing's actually worse in the sense of I still know I have a problem.
Yeah. Well, and because the migraines are only like part of whatever is going on with me.
Yeah, that
like,
too.
We thought I had POTS. I don't have POTS. I have
PANS.
Orthostatic hypotension or something like that. I stand up and my blood pressure plummets, and that's why I often get really dizzy, because my blood pressure just shoots to the floor for no reason.
You shouldn't do that.
Yeah, but it means that like I am on doctor's orders to eat more salt. Then there was a commercial for Pokemon, and I found out that Lady Gaga and I have the same favorite Pokemon. Jigglypuff. Oh, the Jurassic Park Xfinity one was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Where like it was like setting up all the issues with Jurassic Park, and then like all the issues are solved by them having better internet.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny, and like they brought in like, you know, Jeff Goldblum and Laura Dern and
I would say like
Sam
Neil. Wait, no.
Sam Neill. I was reaching for Sam Elliott, and I knew that was wrong.
Yes, very, very different experience. Like, probably could still be a good movie, but it'd be a very different experience with him in that movie.
Yeah.
Like,
but yeah, so like they brought the original actors, and I think even Samuel L. Jackson was in it too.
And I it wasn't my favorite.
And then like because they have better internet, Jurassic Park like opens without a hitch, and it's perfect.
Well, but say like to me, like if you're doing a commercial like that was perfectly how to do it, in the sense of like it's silly and all that, but like, you know, like it tells a story essentially. It's just like, oh yeah, and it's just like, again, like it was silly, but like, yeah, that is the right sort of dumb, you know, or whatever for me. Like that was just like, okay, yeah, I'm on board.
And then by that point I was getting nervous about the score because the Patriots were kind of starting to come back.
I would say that was the thing with all the. I will say that was the thing with all the field goals. Like that should have been a like a full-on blowout, not a. It's kind of getting interesting.
What is CBP? Like I wrote CBP and a vomit emoji, but I don't know what it was. And then like, there was just some more like commercials that were dumb.
I will say.
I said fuck off, Jimmy, because there was a Salesforce ad featuring Mr. Beast.
Customs and Border Patrol, so it was the ICE one.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, fuck them.
Oh, I did think, not that it was funny, but that Amazon spends all that money to tell you that, you know, the Ring will be linked to Flock, which is a crime-fighting tool, but, you know, obviously with a lot of things, anytime the government's doing anything, you should have your concerns and all that. And they've already canceled that because everyone was, you know, not down with that.
Because the absolute outrage, like, you're trying to use, like, our love of our, like, lost pets to get us to sign up for, like, a surveillance state.
Yeah. I would say, like, it's just...
like, more of a surveillance state than we already have.
Well, I'm saying it's one of those things, like, I have no problem that the police can subpoena any, you know, video from Ring or whatever. Like, you know, like... that doesn't seem like the most ridiculous thing, but like to essentially somehow try to make it where that would be more linked into just the government, like in general, it's just like, no, that sounds terrible. Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
I would say then,
and that's about all the commercials that were worth talking about. But this is about the time where the game was getting a little bit more interesting, because at this point, like, the Patriots have shown up.
A little bit.
And, like, I kind of don't like the phrase, well, they just wanted it more, but that kind of feels appropriate for this game. It just kind of seemed like Seattle wanted it more.
I mean, I just think they were the better team. I mean, like, to me, like, like, I mean, it's just that defense was so unrelenting, and like again, Drake May was hurt, but I wasn't shocked that um, I don't. I'm gonna just go with Uche because I don't want to mispronounce his last name, but he had that pick six. Like I wasn't surprised that that came, especially with May being hurt, because at some point once that's the thing too. Like when you get in that point of a game, and we talked about it earlier in the year, like with game script and all that, or just like when the other team has to pass the ball to get back in the game, and they don't. And again, I don't think New England has particularly stunning running backs either. Like at some point there was going to be that play. I was not shocked that Seattle came up with a pick six to kind of help put that thing away because, I mean that's the whole. I mean to me that's the whole thing with like why you don't want to live and die by miracles like the Bears did. At a certain point, when other teams know what you're going to do, it's going to bite you. I mean, like it's just it's the closest you're going to get to being in the huddle and calling the play is like, yeah, they just have to keep chucking it if they want to get back in this game.
Yep.
But yeah.
But in the end, the Seahawks won, so I was happy.
I would say, and I won 2 small bets, so I was happy too.
All right.
I'd say I very rarely put money on games just because, especially the NFL, I feel like it's you generally might know who's going to win a game, but the nature of football and the actual closeness of a lot of teams and at least skill, a lot of games are not something I would feel comfortable like putting money on. But ironically, it was this Seattle team and this particular version of even this year's New England team that I was like, no, I think this is going to be a blowout. And I was pretty much right.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So I think that's pretty much everything there is to say about the Super Bowl. Any last thoughts about that before we move on to plans?
No, I think it was as simple as, like I said, I think, the fact that Seattle led the league in points differential, I thought it was funny in the sense of a lot of the things we talked about this year mattering and things like that, unsurprisingly, were what it came down to in a very overarching way. But also, the only surprise for me, like I said, was that I think some teams are going to be foolish in thinking they're going to underrate Sam Darnold, even though I think no one should be convinced he's a great quarterback. I think too many teams are going to be like, what if we get everything else right? It's the good thing for the Bears right now or for Washington is they know who the quarterback is for the next at least 4 to 5 years, if not longer. You have solved at least one problem, and you need at least a Sam Darnold level quarterback who you trust to make some throws and also not turn the ball over. I think that's the big thing too, is maybe he's not going to make those clutch throws, or I don't really trust him in big moments, but he also did nothing really to hurt Seattle. But like I said, I think it's going to be annoying as teams try to chase. Let's try to get every other position right instead of being like, the Seattle team had a really great defense. They didn't need that much from their offense. They dominated. I just think there's going to be I think it's funny seeing people be like, oh, everybody was wrong about him. And it's just like, no, he was terrible, with the Jets. And he didn't really find his footing again until Minnesota. And I still don't think he's great, but if the Bears didn't have Caleb Williams, I'd be like, we should maybe at least see what if he wants to come here. Let's talk to his agent. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Seattle does going forward because keeping these things together is a lot harder than putting them together.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, like we said up top, we're definitely going to be better next season. Because, at the very least with Ben's job situation figured out, That'll be better. Please consider joining our Patreon. Any paid level will get you access to our bonus episodes.
Ben's going to be watching at least 1 to 2 movies this week.
Yes. And the first person to sign up for $50 a month and, like, commit to the full length of a season gets to make us follow a second sport.
Jai-Lai.
Hi-Lai?
Jai-Lai.
Do you mean?
Look, it does matter if I pronounce it right or wrong. I will just say it's part of a bit.
Okay, sure. And again, like we said, we have some, like, special stuff planned for the off season. We might have a few weeks off while we, like, put that all together, but the next thing you will see is 1 double feature or 2 episodes of bonus episode. We're gonna be talking about Sidelined and its sequel, Sidelined 2 Intercepted. They're silly little, like, football rom-coms, and that's why I was, like, not sure if we're gonna get enough content out of the second one. So that's why it's kind of, like, TBD whether it'll be 1 episode about the 2 of them or if it'll be 2 episodes. Also, sign up to the Patreon so I have access to more streaming services than I currently have. Because I currently, like, we're kind of, right now we're milking Tubi for all it's worth. My access to Disney Plus has disappeared. I have Peacock. I can probably get Prime again before too much longer. But anyway, and also I really need internet at my house. Yes. That would make a lot of this a lot easier. So consider giving us money. But anyway, so that is it for this. We will see you next time. I'll put socials and stuff in the description, and that's that. Bye, everybody!
Au revoir.